Alright, greetings internet sojourners and welcome back to the Spell Hunt series on my Mr. Best Friend, level 53, XR Necro, Kunark only, Soloselffound, 22% to level 54. Glad to be back here on stream, glad to be back here on YouTube, hopefully entertaining you for the next couple hours while I continue to hunt for the spells that I need to finish this challenge. And what a challenge it has been, let me tell you guys. It did not seem like it was going to be this challenging when I started. And the gear, you know, Necros don't really need that much gear, but they do need spells. And that's where the challenge has really come in. And that's why we are, I'm not going to say struggling. I think struggling would be a really strong word here. However, that's why we are experiencing some friction, some challenge. So what we're doing right now to kind of circumvent the fact that we don't have a good pet is we're charming. And I have heard that this spot over here in the City of Mist, this is the moat. Like the moat is like right over there. I have heard that this is a good spot to go to try to find splurt. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go like kill as many golems as we can. There we go. Beguile undead. That's what I need. We'll kill as many golems as we can. We'll kill as many skeletons as we can. And try, hopefully, to get hooked up with some splurt here. I do see some like dudes over there, so but usually this side of the moat, like people don't typically mess with this. Now here's an issue that I do see is we have no undead mobs up for me to charm. So I'm very carefully going to sneak by trying to watch out in case there are undead. And there's really just like a lot of golems. Yeah, this is unique. Okay, last time I was here, I've only done this camp a couple times, but last time I was here there was like a phantom and I just kept using the phantom to kill other things, and so this time around I don't see any undead that I can charm, which makes me wonder like who else is out here, what else is going on. I do see that shaman. This has probably been the most frustrating, I guess, part of this whole thing is like trying to find spots where you as a solo player can essentially do what you need to do without having to deal with other people. And I recognize that like this is an MMO and there are other players and I need to be like respectful of that. But I am old and I'm crotchety, so sometimes these other players, it just pisses me off that I have to deal with them. Get off my box. You. Yep. I don't see anyone. What do you mean you don't see anyone? I typed /wave. I don't see anyone by that name around here. What do you mean? Oh, Shino. He's right freaking there, game. Anyway. So here's kind of the dilemma. I need to kill these guys. But I don't have a guy I can charm. So what I could do, I could root rot. I could summon a dinky pet, a level 44 pet, and kind of like halfway root rot pet attack. And ST split these two jerks, and then the Vapor Golem. Yeah, that's probably the best bet here. We'll kind of lay claim to this little corner like we did last time. We'll summon a little dinky pet that's not going to probably last more than 5 seconds fighting these guys, but it's better than no pet at all. I'm not even going to bother with like buffing him though. Man, I have got like something going wrong with my neck. Let me tell you, all day I've been just like struggling with this thing. I think I need to go in. I need that doc. So I got this doctor that I go to. He's actually like a therapist, like a physical therapist or something. He can shove a needle in it and it'll freak out for a second. And then when he pulls the needle out, it's like, oh, it feels so good. It feels so much better. There's not like drugs in the needle or anything. It's just like the needle goes in and it makes the muscle stop being an asshole to you for a little while. That's what I need done. Damn, this song reminds me of like OG 2005, me playing WoW. I had this like weird period when I was like, I don't know, 18, first graduated high school, where I played a lot of Quake 3, Morrowind, and then a little bit of Vanilla WoW, but I didn't know that Vanilla WoW was good at the time. I thought it was actually worse than Everquest because I was kind of stupid. And I didn't realize, like, I thought it was like a casual version of EQ, and I was like trying to be a hipster and be like, oh, EQ's so much better. It's got extreme difficulty. And so I never like really got into it. Let's see what happens. I was trying to get, because there is a pat. I was trying to just see if this guy would come. All right, we'll see. We might end up getting that pat. Like, okay. Get him, pet. Get him. We'll just use this pet. His name's Gaben. That's kind of funny. I don't even know why I have this pet. He's like... He's already almost dead. Like, I'm gonna have to pull him back and just let him sit here, like me. Like, we're gonna sit here together like lazy skeletons while we watch this guy. I don't know, kind of a bummer that we don't have a good guy to like charm right off the rip, but at least we're gonna kill this guy. Clearly, he's almost dead. And then we should be like, at some point we will get a respawn that is an actual undead. And a good one. Like, I'm not gonna be charming no trash tier undead like one of those plague bone skeletons. And then we'll, once we have a phantom, we'll like wreck all these dudes. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good night. I'm actually having a pretty good night. I came home ready to stream for you guys last night. I was gonna stream last night. I know Tuesday is my normal EverQuest night. Man, I was freaking hurting. Like, I just got home and I was just like dog tired, you know? But we got to keep the challenge going. I mean, it has slowed down considerably. I understand. Like, my YouTube uploads have slowed down, at least as far as this series. So I apologize for that. There will be a lot more YouTube uploads in a month because I don't think I'm going to be able to stream. And so what I'll probably do is start uploading like every other day. Just try to like put some time into getting Mr. Best Friend finished. I'll be honest though, like part of the reason why I've slowed down so much is because it's just not very enjoyable right now. These trying to find these spells just so I can actually go and like kill higher level things has been a pretty big pain in the ass. Like I have grinded my ass off in the Burning Wood, in the arena here, and now over here at the moat wall. Like I feel like at some point this game is gonna have to give me a freaking break and drop a spell, because like I don't understand it. I talk to other people and it could just be like a watched pot never boils, right? Like that could be as simple as that. But I talk to other people and they're like, yeah, dude, I found like freaking splurt 3 times there. And I'm like, holy shit. Although, from what I understand, a lot of people say like the best place to really start finding these spells is Howling Stones. But I recognize that when people say that, usually it comes from the perspective of they went and bought the spells and then they go to Howling Stones because they have the spells. And then they're able to use those spells to then kill enemies that drop the spells. I'm not in that position. I have to try to find them before I go. I could try to go to Howling Stones. I just don't know how effective that's going to be. But if we spend too many nights here on the golems and we just continue to get unlucky, it may force my hand. Like I might have to just say, okay, I'm going to go. And we're just going to bite the bullet. We're going to rip the band-aid off and we're going to try Howling Stones. I would rather go when I have the spells that would make it like more feasible, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them here, and I think the game may force me into doing it. And for all I know, I'm like hyping Howling Stones up too much, and maybe I'll go in there and I'll be like, this isn't as bad as I thought. I don't know. But the ideal scenario is I get Splurt here, and then once I have Splurt, I can go try to kill the Raptors, and the Raptors will get me Leech and the 49 pet. I don't plan to use the 49 pet very much, at least right now. And then, but if I have Lich, because that's my main concern actually is Lich. Not having Lich and needing all that mana to kill things in Howling Stones. That's kind of the concern here. But we will keep it up. We're going to keep it up. Don't you worry. If you're watching on YouTube and you're like, oh, shoot, mmorpg's giving up on Mr. Best Friend, don't you worry. I'm not giving up. I don't want to leave an unfinished YouTube playlist. That's like not what I'm about. I hate it when I go to a YouTube playlist and I get into somebody's YouTube playlist and I'm like, oh man, this is a great Let's Play, or this is a great video to put on in the background. And at least I'll get to like see how, this game ends or whatever. And I actually enjoy the commentator. And then they finish, the playlist just goes like dark after 4 or 5 episodes or whatever. And I mean, we're nowhere near that, right? Like I have probably, I don't know, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up after this golem. I want to know how many playlist or episodes there are in my YouTube playlist for Mr. Best Friend. I mean, we're on 6 months, almost 7 months, so I think that says something. not like we did 2 weeks of this and then something new came out and I gave up, but and I'm not trying to say that I'm giving up now. I'm just venting to you guys about the challenges, or really like where we're at. Because you're here with me and we're doing this together, so this is where we're at. The spell grind is real. And I wasn't exactly expecting this. I should have expected it. Bad on me for not expecting it. Get away, pet. Get back. You're gonna die. Gaben, you're gonna die. Gaben, the founder of Steam. Man, what a crazy story Steam is. Like Valve in general. There's 90 videos in the playlist. Holy smokes. Sorry, I wanted to get that out there before I get sidetracked here. Yeah, so Valve started out just making freaking Half-Life, which I shouldn't say just making Half-Life. Like Half-Life was extremely influential. Extremely like groundbreaking. But the fact that now we don't have like a Half-Life 3 is kind of funny. It's because they started making Steam. They launched Steam as basically just a way to connect people to playing their games and then distribute patches. Because leave a comment if anybody watching, if you remember what Half-Life or Counter-Strike patch day was like pre-Steam. I do. I remember what it was like. You had to go to a site. I think it was File Planet. I'm going to Google this right now. Is File Planet still up? File Planet shut down. Oh my gosh. It shut down in 2012. And I would be 100% willing to bet that Steam had everything to do with that. You had to go to this site called File Planet. And on File Planet, that's where you would download the patch for Half-Life. And it was like it was miserable because you had to wait. I think they would make you wait in line, so you had to wait in line to patch the game. Sorry, I'm looking at something here because I want to know what's going on with something. So just bear with me. I'm speaking and I'm looking. Something is like really peaking my audio, and I can't figure out which, like, what is doing that. And now it's not doing it. Well, there it kind of went. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's driving me crazy. Okay, we have an apparition. We're gonna just pull him. This isn't the mob that we want for a pet. He's actually kind of a cheesy mob. He's a crap mob. We don't want him for a pet. He's not going to do good. He'll die. He'll die too fast. Although, honestly, he would do better than my like, summoned pet, to be truthfully honest. Oh, I thought root wore off. There was like this weird, like, parallax effect where when my pet was moving towards me, I thought the apparition was moving away, so I was about to reroot him. Okay, so there's another golem around the corner, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait like right here, because what I want to see is what spawns here. Hopefully a phantom spawns here. Because if we can get a phantom to spawn here, then we're gonna grab that phantom. And then we can use him as a pet for the rest of the night. Or at least until somebody comes along and they like freaking take him or kill him. That's one thing I'm worried about, is whenever I go to actually like heal the pet, I release him and somebody comes along and grabs him. It has not happened to me yet. Why? What's this? Who is that? That is a phantom. But he's right there. He's in the middle of golems. I would rather have a phantom like that would spawn right here. And that way I can, when I release him to heal, it's not like he's going all the way back there. So we'll just hang out. There's somebody did a camp check, so I was just gonna let them know, like, hey, I'm doing one side of the moat, so if you want to do the other side, you're fine. And I'm trying to make sure my positioning is just right here so that when it does spawn, I'm not in direct line of sight to where they're just going to attack me. I feel like I should have seen a spawn by now, though. This is a little bit strange because it's saying 5 minutes on the next spawn, but I don't think that's this one here. I think that's one of these over here on the left. And actually, no, it could be this one. Oh, there's grab you. Yeah, I think he's like too low because he's a green con. I think this guy's too low to drop a spell. That's part of the reason why we're having such a hard time finding spells here is I don't think it's just a guarantee that they even have the ability to drop one. I think it's based off their level. They have to be probably level 45 plus. And a lot of these that spawn don't actually spawn at that level. So you got two different, it's like a Swiss cheese model. You got two different layers here. You got to be able to get the spawn of the appropriate level. And then once you get the spawn of the appropriate level, how is paralyzing Earth worn off like immediately? What kind of garbage is this? Once you get the appropriate level spawn, then it's a small chance it even drops a spell. And then it's an even smaller chance that it will drop the spell that I need. But at least we're able to do some root rotting, even with like the crappy pet health, and actually kill stuff without a charm pet. It's just not as fast. Yeah, the experience here is definitely slowed down because I've killed probably what 5, 6, 7 mobs and I've gotten it is ticked up 1%. A single percent since I started, and that was 30 minutes ago. These 50s, like the levels in the 50s are no joke. I feel like 50 to 51 was decent, and maybe even 51 to 52. But now like these levels are moving so slow. So it's definitely like, it's a test of patience doing this. And I knew that was coming. I think this just, it's dragged on a little bit longer than I thought it would. I'll probably finish Mr. Best Friend by like the end of the year. I don't like to do a lot of grinding off stream. Ah, it's another golem. I was really hoping for a phantom. Golems are good too, though, because they drop spells. So we win either way. And the pet actually, he's able to hang in there for a while. I'm kind of seeing like maybe I just buff him and use him. Because it's not like we're getting a any charm pets, charmable mobs that spawned anyway. And the experience did just tick up another %, so that's good. I will take it. And I'm trying to look up on the wiki, like, which of these golems do drop the spells. According to this, a fog golem can drop the spell, and those only go up to 39 to 43. So yeah, here, 39 to 43. But it has spell splurt listed in here. I don't really understand these drop rates because, like, it says 50% for multiple things. So I don't know how they arrive at the 50%. Is that like 50% of any time anything drops that it is, in fact, one of these star rubies? And then down here it says spell splurt ultra rare 8%. So I'm not sure like who came up with those or how they came up with those. We can at least be grateful that I got a spot, that there's not a huge group here. What's up, Skyless Raven? I haven't seen you in a minute. Hopefully you're doing good. Yeah, we at least got a spot and we're at least able to kill things here, so that's progress. I'd rather have some progress than no progress. Things probably sound a lot different, Skyless, than the last time you were here because I've done a lot of work on this microphone and trying to get it to sound just right. Okay, we got a spawn coming in 30 seconds. We'll see what we get this time. I'm wondering, do the phantoms drop? Do they drop spells? Whoa, what is this? It was like a Ixar. He's trying to jump over the wall. I didn't know you could jump over that wall. And this dude's hitting my pet like a truck, oh my gosh. We're gonna have to pull old Gaben a little bit early here. Come on, Gaben, get back. Be careful. Somebody just said this place is packed out of nowhere. The good thing is, normally it doesn't get too packed all the way back here at the moat. Later this year, I'm going away for an extended period of time. Are you going on, like, vacation? Nice. Well, enjoy your vacation. Oh, I'm going to Vegas not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. I'm actually going this time. I have my hotel reservations. Everything is correct. Last time I got my hotel reservations incorrect, so I thought I was going, but I didn't actually go because I wasn't going to double book hotels and waste that money. We got another golem. Man, this game does not want to give us a charmable pet. What's up, Neutral Rockets? Oh, that'll be good for you, Skyless. I'm glad you're doing that. Goodness, this pet. This pet is not hanging. Howling Stones win. I was just talking about that. Like, at some point, I feel like I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and just go. The ideal progression is I get Splurt here, then I go out to Raptors, I get Lich, and then I go to Howling Stones, but I'm not sure. Whoa, what's up, Kevin? Dancing Avocado, Kevin. Got the new sub. 5 months, Kevin. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Good to see you guys. $25% to level 54. Yeah, I'm kind of like on the fence of just going or waiting. The risk to going to Howling Stones is a corpse recovery there. Seems like it might be kind of tough. So I don't want to go in unprepared and then be in a really bad position. How's it going tonight? It's going pretty good. Sorry I didn't stream last night. I got home and I was just like done. I was just toast. And truthfully, I was toast tonight too, but I was like, I can't go 2 nights in a row without streaming. And then I was gonna stream Valheim. This is a little bit more cozy. Like Valheim is pretty cozy, but like it's a lot more engaging. This I can just kind of sit back and chill. This is not difficult. And I also don't want to lose sight of Mr. Best Friend and the goals that I have for him, so I don't want to like ninja turn into a Valheim stream out of the blue. EQ is my streaming home, so it's a EQ streaming is a very small community. Although Valheim looks like it's pretty small too, honestly. I was honestly surprised at how few people are watching Valheim. I would figure that would be a little bit higher of a viewership, a little bit bigger of an audience. I think I've seen it peak out at around 900. Obviously, EQ is like 300 on average from what I've seen. Yeah, it is cool, Kevin. Like, I could probably do a better job of like connecting with the other P99 streamers. I'll try to remember if there's a decent viewer count tonight to go raid somebody when I go to get off. There is not a lot of P99 streamers. Most everybody seems like they've moved over to Quorum. And I'll be honest, I at one point was like, should I try Quorum? And then I was like, nah. I don't know, I don't feel like starting over. Yeah, I'm not super interested in Quorum either, and like it's just, yeah, scuffed could be an appropriate word. Like it just doesn't seem like this is basically retail. Like P99 is basically retail without a sub. I don't know like what celestial being we pleased to be able to have this server, but like, dudes, this is a blessing. Like I don't know if enough people give P99 the credit that it deserves. Is it a perfect server? No. Does it have issues? Yes, every server does, but to play this, you don't feel like you're playing on a emulated server here. You don't feel like you're playing on a private server. Like the level of polish here is just so insurmountable. And I guess to be honest, like it's a little bit unfair to judge Quorum by that same standard. Because at the end of the day, it's an emulated server, right? Like, and I'm sure by like normal emulated server standards, it's probably really good. But the reality is when you have something else to compare it to, like P99, it is really hard to compete. I think people are just tired of P99 because of how long the servers have been up. And then, yeah, the rules are a little bit too different for my taste. I like, so it's like it's kind of a blessing and a curse. I like that on P99, like, you know what you get. Like, what you see is what you get. The only one I wish they had on P99 is Max Pet. You're talking like a level 60. Oh, like your pet is always max when you summon them. Yeah. I don't disagree. I hate playing pet roulette. I think it's like the dumbest thing. Oh, we need to change music. I've been in like a modest mouse mood. I mean, I'm okay that P99 hasn't made any like quality of life changes because it's a slippery slope. I know slippery slope is a logical fallacy, but I think that it's kind of it's like a half logical fallacy because it's a real thing. Slippery slope is a real thing. Because once you change one thing, like who's to say that you're not gonna? Okay, we've already changed one thing. What else? What else should we change? And I think they have changed a few things, if I remember right. Like, I don't think it's a one-to-one true perfect representation, although it's probably the closest that we will ever get. Get back, Peg, get back. Yeah, I'm sure if you go through enough forum posts, you'll find something. Yeah, I started the stream a little bit earlier tonight, but I do plan to go for the whole duration as long as my shoulder and my neck cooperate. This shoulder issue is just freaking killing me. I was saying earlier, like, I need to go in and get another needle or something. They need to needle me. I don't know. It's just like a. It just hurts. It's like right here, right in like the trap, and then it just goes all the way up to the neck, and it extends but down my back. And I just honestly, I think it's just from probably. I mean, it's definitely from military service. It's documented here. Pinched nerve. I mean, to be truthfully, it's a combination of like military service and then just probably poor posture and all that. But who knows? Pinched nerve. I don't know. It's like it just gets me. Oh shoot. Do we want to charm this guy? Let's go ahead and charm this guy. Ah, shoot. This is like the first viable charm pet that we've found. So I'm gonna let him sit. He's rooted right now. He's my pet, but he's rooted. I'm gonna let him stay rooted until I get another spawn in a minute and a half, and then I will remove his root if it hasn't broken. Yeah, no, I think it's just like I get stressed and I hunch my shoulders, and so I've noticed when I have like really shitty days at work, my like whole neck and shoulder just area just hurts. And it's like something that I'm consciously working on, that I need to like relax my shoulders and not overactivate my trapezius muscles. Yeah, easier said than done, exactly. Like it's just a habit, it's a bad habit. And I don't really have like that big of a reason to be stressed anymore. Like, so I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I still stress. Like my job has a lot of things to think about, but it's not a particularly stressful job. You just have to think about a lot of things. Okay, we should have a spawn. We do have a spawn. Yeah, I think for the longest time I was just addicted to stress, and I let that addiction kind of run wild. And so it's easy for me now to like fall into those same patterns. And it's really like, it's unhealthy. I've been trying for years to correct my posture. Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one. Because you don't realize you're doing it. I also think like I kind of lean over when I'm playing games, and I need to stop doing that. Yeah, as soon as you stop thinking about it, you just go right back to it. I notice when I'm playing games that require a lot of focus, I like hunch my shoulders when I'm thinking about something. And these are just habits that you build up over years and years and years. But I'm at least aware of it now, so that does help. You cannot see your target. I need to be able to see my target. Because there's a pather coming. I don't think I actually needed to dot him. My pet is... This is actually a pretty strong pet. He's probably got splurt on him. That's what's making him so powerful. Okay, now we can heal the pet. No, no, no. Oh, no. Actually, this is not going... I thought he would, There we go. I thought he would heal. He's not healing. I guess we should have rooted him. Let's see if we can snag him again. Where is he? There he is. Ah! I wasted too much time. I wasted too much time looting. We need a little bit more distance. It's actually taken like a long time to kill this golem too. Let's see, what's the best way to heal this guy? We can try the lull again. Oh, he resisted? Don't... You're my pet, you can't resist my spells. And I guess we'll have to, like, root him. Oh, is he gonna... He's probably gonna stop healing now that he's rooted. Man, I suck at this. Alright, we'll just recharm him. And we'll just fight him against something else. I think he's got like one more fight left in him. We're gonna help him out with some dots. I don't know, this Greater Spurbone, he's putting some damage on him. It's gonna be close. You did it, pet. Good job. Oh, that's interesting. Wraithbone Hammer. How much is the Wraithbone Hammer worth? It is worth a whopping 25 plat, but you know what? Can I give it to a shaman? I can give it to a shaman. Well, there's strength 5, whiz 2, int 2, so I mean, like, I just like getting stuff to give away. It makes me happy. I like going back to Cabalus or the Field of Bone like a little lizard Santa Claus and just divvying out goodies to all the good girls and boys. And it's actually like at 826, it's not a bad, even a monk weapon, although I'm sure it's heavy. Yeah, 7.3, so it's not really a good monk weapon, but like, I feel like if I was a baby monk, I would be okay with getting that. You have one on your shaman in the bank. Yeah, I'd rather just give something like that away than try to sell it, you know? I don't see any point in trying to sell this stuff, although if I like... There's kind of two ways to look at it. If I sold all the little piddly drops that I got, I might have made like 500 plat by now, but how much time would I spend selling this stuff? I don't have a druid, so I can't just easily offload all this stuff and get it up to the tunnel. So it's just kind of like whatever. Yeah, exactly. You'd waste more time doing that than just going and farming. Like, I've probably made... I don't think I make a lot of money, but I feel like I make about 100 to 200 plat an hour. Somewhere in that ballpark off of just these drops. Although it's been kind of trash. Because I've been in City of Mist for a while now, and this is all I've gotten. Although I just realized I am running out of food. Although this... Oh, this item here can summon me some food. Yeah, that's true. I should just throw on forage again. I think it goes there. Hey, look at that. Got me some berries. Oh, I'm encumbered. Those berries were enough to encumber me. Okay, we got... This is why it's really good to have this as your undead spawn, your pet spawn right here. Because now I'm kind of like sandwiched. Hopefully that guy doesn't attack me. Oh no, he's going. Ah. My pet got away, guys. I could try to get this phantom. But I have a respawn coming in like 20 seconds, so I'm going to play it safe. We'll see what pops. Hopefully it's an undead. Oh, it didn't pop. Oh, there we go. We'll just yoink this guy if we can get him before the plague bone comes back. Get back here. I'm wondering if the plague bone was actually better than the phantom. Let me see what their levels are. Of course, the wiki is going to be like total trash. Take like 20 minutes for a single article to come up. Phantoms are 39 to 43. Yeah, I feel like this phantom took a lot of damage. Greater Plague Bone is also 39 to 43, so I'm not really sure if one is better than the other. Oh, he's like right there. Oh no, he's on the move. Can we get him? I choose you, Greater Plague Bone. The thing about the Plague Bone is that when you release him, he's going to go a long way, so I can't really rely on him. We'll just try to keep these 3 spawns going until we get a good pet from one of those 3 right up front here. What was found? Nothing. I wish I found something. Oh wait, I did find a Wraithbone hammer, that's right. Like it's not like a crazy awesome thing. It was just interesting. We're just kind of playing the charm game, hoping for a good drop here. Hoping for a good drop, hoping for a better pet spawn. Like one of these 3 or 4. I guess there's 4 spawns right here. Nice 20 plat drop, yeah. I'm rich. That'll offset the 3,000 plat or so I've spent on research. That has not paid off yet. Outside of okay, we got a phantom here. So we'll start using this guy. Hopefully he's a good phantom. Hopefully he's like a higher level. I need to rebuff though. It'd be nice if the research words for the 46 dropped in here. Or the 49. But these guys are just so low. I'm honestly surprised that the wiki says that the level 50 plus spells drop off these guys. The only reason why I believe it is other people have told me that they do drop. Because I wouldn't think you could get these spells off level 43 mobs. Let's see. The Plague Bone is right here. Can I get him? Keep having line of sight issues here. I feel like this Plague Bone is gonna be kind of a challenge for this Phantom. Dude, that pig parse, the fact that pig parse tells you when your roots wear off now is so nice. That has saved me so many times because I would always lose track of. I have it in its own window, but I would lose track of it. Because if you have it wear off multiple times, like it's really hard to remember. Like, was that the second time in a row or the third time? Good job, Phantom. It does not have custom. You can't like set up your own triggers. That would be nice, but it does not allow it. Cool, guys. I got bone chips. How great is that? I gotta take a quick break, and I'll be back in like, I don't know, a couple minutes. I'm gonna invis and hope it doesn't break, and I'm gonna leave it up so you guys can watch me die if it does. I'll be right back. Oh, look at that. I'm not dead. That's great. Okay, let's grab our new friend, the Phantom. And it looks like I got back just in time. There's going to be a spawn here in like 10 seconds, so that's good. And it's another greater plague bone, but this one is like the Sarnak skeleton or whatever. I don't know. Is that a Sarnak skeleton? What kind of skeleton is this? It's like the weird short lizard skeleton. Uh-oh. The broke leg skeleton. You know, you reminded me of something. Smash you up. Do you remember, like, being a kid and having those little green army men? Uh-oh. Screaming terror. No, not a dot. I need to recharm. Yeah, you know, you had like a whole bucket. Dude, I was a poor kid. Like, I'll never claim to be the poorest of poor kids. Like, I didn't grow up, like, I know people who grew up like super freaking poor. We weren't like we always had electricity. Like, we always had running water. But that was kind of like where it ended. Like, we didn't have a whole lot of extras for a long time until my dad got like a much better job later on. Because he got out of the army and he tried like every career known to man before he found one that was like good for him and actually worked. Like, he tried to sell insurance, he tried to be a geologist, he had all kinds of different jobs. He sold computers. He was really good at computers. That's where I learned computer stuff. But anyway, like, that was one of the toys that like my parents could afford to get me, was like a freaking giant bucket of green army men. But anyway, I always thought it was super morbid that they had some green army men. They were badasses, right? Like, you had some with the freaking flamethrowers and the machine guns and whatever. Like, dude, the machine gun guys, they were my favorite because they were all posted up with the freaking tripod the bipod machine gun. And then you had the one who was like dying. like you had every awesome GI Joe freaking looking great, and then you had the one who was like getting shot. And I always thought that was so weird. It's not like there was multiples and there was multiple death pose GI Joes. There was just the one. Do they even sell those anymore? Do kids even play with them anymore? Looks like you can get them on Amazon. $40? 40 freaking dollars for that same bucket? That's insane. Those were like $5 at Dollar General or the Dollar Tree or what, you know, like Family, whatever the dollar store was back then. I actually found some antique lead steel ones in my yard when I was cleaning the property up. That's freaking awesome. Let me show you this other thing. So my buddy had this. Let me see if I can find it. Does anybody remember this? It was the Vikings versus the Romans chess set. So, like, there's the king, there's the queen. This looks like the Roman side. These are like the barbarians, the Gauls, whatever. Probably not Vikings. You know, the Normans, whoever the Romans were fighting. I'm not 100%. My buddy had that, and I thought it was a really cool chess set. It actually motivated me to want to play chess, because it was more like realistic of like a little war going on versus, you know, just pieces, little weird looking plastic pieces wandering around the board. House was built in the 40s, found all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah, I've seen posts on Reddit of like people were like, I found this in my wall. And it was like a letter. And it was like, me and my wife are remodeling. The year is 1943. Like, I hope whoever finds this is doing good. My neighbor's an asshole. Like, there's like a whole letter about this dude's life in the 40s. I don't think I've ever found anything like that. But I grew up in like a mining town, and all the houses are super old. And I definitely remember like some of the houses that, because when I was, like I said, we were like kind of the poor kid. I was like my parents would move every year when the lease was up or whatever. They would just find a new place to rent. So we moved. We had like 9 different houses while I was in elementary school. And some of the houses that we would go look at, I would just be like, please don't pick this house. This house is so freaking old and so creepy. And I would just hate it. And I would know that like this was just going to be a creepy ass house to live in. Because all the houses were made in like the late 1800s and early 1900s. And sometimes they would pick the creepy house. And so we lived in this one house that was like almost like looked like a cottage from the freaking Hobbit. Like the house is, I don't know if I feel like finding a picture because it'd probably take me a little while, but like just take my word for it. It looked like a little Hobbit house, and it was so creepy in there. I hated being in that house by myself, and being like, my parents couldn't afford daycare or whatever, so I was a latchkey kid, you know. You just get off school and they'd be like, yeah, just go home. And we didn't even lock our doors because where we lived was just not a place where you even really thought about locking your door. And I would try to be outside 100% of the time if um, I was there by myself, because it was just like too creepy to be in that house by myself. And my parents had this rule where you would go, when you came home from school, you had to change out of your like school clothes, so you couldn't go outside and play in like your nice clothes. So we didn't have money to just go replacing jeans and shirts and stuff. And I would get home from school and drop my backpack at the front door and run as fast as I could through the house, which wasn't very big, but you know, I was little, so I would like sprint upstairs and like real quick change and then like sprint back out, because it was just like you always felt like you were being watched in this house. And at night I would like see stuff in my bedroom, and I don't know if it was just my imagination or what, but one thing I do know was not my imagination was we had this like clothes hanging thing that was kind of shaped like a Christmas tree, and it had little hooks that you could hang clothes to dry. And one time I came downstairs and I turned the corner and I saw that thing, but instead of seeing the clothes hanging thing, I saw an old lady in a white dress. And I was like, whoa, that scared the crap out of me, you know, and I didn't like it. And I was a kid, but because I was a kid, I didn't want to tell anybody, like, yeah, I see an old lady in our house. But I was confirmed, I was like vindicated when my dad and I were getting ready to go somewhere, and he was putting on his shoes, and he was by the front door, and he turned towards that thing and he jumped, and he was like, shit. And I was like, what? And he was like, I just saw an old lady standing there where that clothes hanging thing is. And I was like, no freaking way. Like, he saw the exact same thing I saw. And it was super freaky. I did not like being in that house. And we had another house that was like casually haunted. Like, it was just kind of like sort of haunted. Like, you know, there was something kind of weird going on there, but it wasn't a big enough deal to where you were like, you felt uncomfortable or you felt like you were like really being watched. And it was mainly in the basement. And come to find out, like, the old guy who owned the house before us, he had died, and he did a lot of work in the basement. Like, the basement had all these like sorry, I got a charm break here. The basement had this like little workshop in it with all these little containers for like his hardware and crap, and it was all labeled. And then he had like hardware store receipts from like the 60s still tacked up on the wall and stuff. And it was like, it was so like, not ghetto, but like, it was extremely rustic, because the basement had like 5 or 6 rooms, and 1 or 2 of them had legit dirt floors. So like, you'd go in there and the floor was just like dirt. And the house was built around a massive rock. So it was like when they went to build the house, they were like, shit, we got to move this rock. And then somebody was like, nah, man, we'll just build the house around it. So you go in one of the rooms in the basement and there was just a rock that was like the size of a small car just chilling in the basement. I lived in like a Minecraft house. Like, you know how in your Minecraft house you dig underneath it and you just start your mine right underneath it? That was like, there was a room with like the walls and floor were dirt with a giant rock in it. Good times. But I never really felt like super uncomfortable in the house. But one thing that would happen is if I was playing the drums, because I used to play the drums, and whatever like spirit presence, whatever was in that house, really did not like playing like the drums, because it would start moving around and shit. You'd see shit while you were like drumming, and it wasn't just me. Like I had a buddy who was also a drummer, and he would come over and we would like jam in the basement or whatever. And it was the like same thing. He would like see shit moving around and he'd be like, do you see stuff while you're drumming here? And I'm like, yeah, dude. It's just like, it just doesn't like the drums, but it's not like knocking shit off the walls or anything. It just move around, and then once in a while, like while I was drumming, I would hear like somebody like yelling, and I don't know if that was just the drum noise in my ear or if it was somebody literally like yelling at me to stop. It was headbanging. I mean, we were pretty good, man. I should have never gave it up. Maybe I'd be a rock star by now. Those were good times. We would play in this old hotel too. It was like an old hotel slash bar, and my buddy's dad had rented out like an office in the middle floor. On the middle floor was like some offices, but the owner said he didn't care if we set up like our band stuff in the top floor because the top floor was just completely empty. Like at some point it was a hotel, but they had knocked out all the walls, so it was just like literal wood framing and like a giant open space with the wood beams still up, the wood supports. And we would play up there and we would see all kinds of crazy stuff while we were up there. Stuff floating around and crap. That place is... That whole area is just like wicked haunted. My girlfriend thinks it's cursed. I agree. The native population of that area would not even set foot in those mountains because they said it was haunted. It was like a place where evil spirits gather or whatever. And I've never lived anywhere quite like that since, where I've been like everywhere you go, you just feel kind of weird. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody died in the house that I'm in right now, because every time I talk to the neighbors are like, oh yeah, this old lady used to live there. She's dead now. And they won't say it, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure she died here. Yeah, I don't have any issues. I have a sliding glass door like right over there behind me. And it did close on its own one time. But that's it. And I don't want to go into it too much, but in my lifetime, I have dealt with like truly bad things. I don't know what they were, but they were like not good. And I don't get those same feelings. Like whenever you're dealing with something that is like truly malicious, you know it. You just know, like the way you feel. There's like certain tells that I have, like my hair, like on my neck, will stand up, and I never like even when the sliding glass door shut, I was just kind of like, huh, that's weird. But it wasn't like I was like, oh shit, like I am truly in danger here. And I have dealt with something like that when I was younger, where like it was like something is not right and it's not happy with me. But I had a buddy who was like way into a bunch of weird stuff, and I think some of that stuff kind of like spilled over onto me. It was just Kevin. It was open and you didn't want me to catch a call. That's very kind of you, Kevin. No, I wasn't even like bothered by it. I was just kind of like, huh. The door just shut. But it was like very much like it shut. Like it wasn't just like, oh, the door moved a little bit. Like I heard it go and like close. And I was like, ooh, that was loud. And it made me jump. But I wasn't like, I jumped, but I wasn't like immediately feeling like something was tremendously wrong. But I think it's just like the area, like that area where I was at was just not, there's just something up with that place. And I'm not like a super like into that stuff. I'm not like somebody who's like constantly talking about spirits and shit, but I definitely just notice a difference up there. And if I notice it, I'm sure people who are like really into that stuff probably definitely notice a bunch of weird stuff. But we were not smart. Like there for a little while, like I had a buddy who like our little thing was we would go to like cemeteries at night and shit, and it was just like, and the cemeteries up there are like super old and freaky. Or like they're like on hills, so people are buried like this. They have like mass graves and stuff with unmarked. There's like a whole field where there's unmarked graves because of they were all settlers that got there in like the 1870s and died of typhoid or whatever, and nobody knew who they were. It's definitely a strange experience. And it's funny because like when I moved away, I thought that was just normal. Like everywhere you go, it's just going to be kind of like wonky, but it's actually not. Make sure nothing has respawned down here. Okay. Let me try to grab this guy. We need to watch out. If something spawns, it's not going to be good. I kind of like this little spot. It's really chill. Oh, man. The back is tight. Actually, went to Walgreens right before the stream and just bought Tylenol because I ran out of Tylenol a long time ago and I haven't really needed it. But this time I was like, I'm gonna go get some friggin' Tylenol. I want one of those 800 milligram specials. The old military special. 800 milligram Motrin. Those will set you right. What are you doing? Stop taking these. Go away. I should get Splurt to drop by the time I hit 60. Yeah, I like those 800 milli Motrins, dude. I feel like the military prescribes those for freaking everything. You could go in there with like a knife in your eye and they'll be like, here's a Motrin. Here's an 800 milligram Motrin, man. But they do work. They're not going to give you pain medicine. They never give out like that stuff. And I wouldn't want it anyway. If I was to get like a Oxycontin or something right now, I'd be like, I don't want to feel like that. One time I got Robaxin. It's like a muscle relaxer, and I was in a lot of pain, so I wasn't like give me some muscle relaxers. I want to feel good. I was just like really hurting. And I was like, I'm gonna take one of these right now. As soon as I got it in my hands, I was like, I'm taking this shit right now because I'm just like, I am hurting bad. And it started working, and I was like, oh, I feel good. And I went home and I lit the grill. I was gonna grill some steaks or some brats or something. And I put on my country music and I got the grill going and I got a beer in my hand. I totally forgot that I had taken the Robaxin and I had a beer in my hand. And I'm just sitting there in a lawn chair out in front of my house. This is when I lived in Georgia. Just listening to the music, and then all of a sudden I was like, and I was like, oh no. I better stop drinking this beer. I'm gonna get friggin' messed up. Whoa, what's the deal here? Why is that phantom running by me? People are fooling around out here. They're gonna get me killed. They pulled my brother's wisdom's teeth in basic, and they gave him Motrin. And that was it. Yeah. Yeah, they're like very hesitant to prescribe anything but Motrin. I got 10 oxys after I got all 4 of my wisdom teeth out in high school. Yeah, they did give me something. I can't remember what it was, but it was like not just Motrin when I got my wisdom teeth out. Yeah, I was explaining the whole opiate addiction crisis to my girlfriend because she's younger than me, so she doesn't remember. If you're like over the age of 30 or maybe 35, I remember literal like pill farm, pill mill doctors just popping up out of nowhere in my little. I was in a little ass town. Like I grew up in a little town in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden there was like mini like doctors' offices that were just in like a shack, and it was a glorified shack. It wasn't an actual shack, but it was small. And I cut my finger. I was working in a kitchen. I was like a dishwasher and a prime rib carver. And I was sharpening the knife, and then I went to wipe some grease. Oh, that's not. Oh, fuck. Please don't fail. Oh, shit. It said charm break, and now. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, gosh. It said charm break, and I thought it said feign death fail. So whatever train that dude popped on. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Hopefully we can get it off. Holy smokes. Did you guys see that? That was an absolutely massive train. Yeah, I hope I don't get blamed for that, because that was definitely not me. Like, I was just, that phantom went running by me, and I should have known that there was, like, something funky going on. Oh, man. I'm just glad I made it out. It was that dark elf. Whatever that dark elf was doing, maybe he ST'd something and forgot about it and then feigned. I'm not sure. But that phantom took the long way around. And when they do that, they train up a ton of stuff. I'm actually not super confident that I should even be up walking around. And that train's gonna have to come back at some point, so... Where's a good spot to watch for it? Oh, shoot. Oh, goodness. That's really bad. Oh, that's a huge train. Where did it come from? That had a reaver in it, too. Yeah, it's Venom. I think it's Venomaz. Good golly, they're still coming back. If he comes back over to my side, I'm gonna ask him to just, like, hey, politely, hey man, can you go to the other side? Because I've been over here for a while. I'm actually gonna camp this. Oh, you can't camp while feigned. I thought you could camp while feigned, or is it something where you just have to, like, Alt F4? Because I'm honestly a little bit concerned. Slash exit. Pull that up so you guys can't see my super secret password. Dude, that was on another level. I should have known that was coming. Yeah, now it's gonna do the thing where I gotta, like, play this game. Oh, there we go. That didn't take nearly as long as I thought. Whenever I slash Q, I end up crashing when logging back in. Let's see. I do get a lot of crashes right here when I click Enter World. Okay, you come back. Oh, goodness. That bear scared me. Is my phantom still here? He is. Yay. Okay. Ross, what's up? Welcome back. I feel like the only place I still get crashes is the login screen. Although I got caught in a crash loop in East Cabilis. It was really bizarre. Anytime I would pan the camera... What the hell is this? An army behemoth? I've never seen that spawn. Drops a clay for the Shaman Canny 2 quest. Oh, okay. I got all excited. I thought I was going to say 100% drop rate for Splurt. Oh, thanks for the cheer, Frost. I appreciate that. I once agreed to sack someone down to 46 and he kept crashing every second time he respawned. This game is so weird. I cannot get this game to run on my GPU. It only wants to run on the processor's integrated graphics, and I gave up trying to even figure it out. All right, let's get Mr. Phantom back. Almost called him Mr. Shaman. Then we can lull you. Hopefully it doesn't fail. And I guess we'll kill this guy. Man, that was scary. That was like a mega train. Hopefully that Shadow Net goes on somewhere else. He definitely almost Mr. Nice Guy'd me. I guess I deserve it. I deserve a good karma death. Let's see, is Juke... Juke is not on. I haven't seen Juke in a long time. I don't know if he still plays. He almost got juked, yep. I got that in Val. I've died so many times in Valheim. Oh, that's bad. Paralyzing Earth wore off on the same tick that Charm wore off. That is stupid. This game hates its players. Go away. Go heal. Yeah, I think that, let's see, Strange Ochre Clay. We'll give the wiki about 3 to 5 business days to update and tell me, I think, but I'm pretty sure it's used for a Shaman Canny quest. And I'm pretty sure I already have that spell in my bank because I found it on a, a giant in the Burning Woods, because I've found a bunch of spells. I've just never found any of the spells that I actually need. If I was a shaman or a enchanter, I would have a ton of spells from Kunark. But I have yet to find a single necromancer spell. Ooh, yeah, this looks good. This looks like a good playlist. Yeah, I'm still kind of wondering what happened there. Like, how did that happen? I'm pretty sure the that dude used like Screaming Terror, or he did something to that phantom, which then caused it to path around the other way, and then it just gathered up like a ton of crap on its way back to me. But it took like I mean, we were fighting the one spawn that we were trying to kill for like a minute, maybe 2 minutes. So it took like 2 minutes for it to gather up that whole train. If it was a no drop quest item, it's for shaman, almost seems like always. If it's a spell drop, almost always enchanter, yeah. I found so many enchanter spells. This game does not want me to have a splurt. I've had the werewolf illusion drop at least 50 times in Velius. Further proof that they love enchanters. Nah, we'll get lucky. It's gonna happen. It's a numbers game at this point. Ah, where'd you come from? Damn, this fan, he's whooping his ass. He's already down to 70%. I haven't put a dot on him. This Phantom probably has splurt on him. Like, if I would just kill the Phantom, I would probably get splurt. I always wonder that whenever I have a good pet. Last night I downloaded the Final Fantasy XI Horizon server. It's like a private server, emulated server for classic Final Fantasy XI. And I gotta say, like, the world building in that game is really good. Like, I like just walking around in that game and talking to NPCs. Holy smokes, party of 43. What's up, guys? I should probably give you guys an intro. So, welcome to the stream. I'm the mmorpg. I've been doing a Soloselffound XR Necro Kunark only, so I have never left Kunark, traded, or grouped. And right now I'm level 53, but I don't have any of the higher level spells. So I'm in City of Mist, and I'm trying to get the spell like Splurt to drop. Hey, I love the Kunark focus. Can't wait to get to City of Mist. Yeah, it's been fun. It's like Train City. You probably know that though. We're just hanging out in the back right now doing the moat. And because I have like crappy level 44 pet is the highest pet that I have to use Charming to even really do anything. And I don't have a lot of gear, so my mana pool is pretty much trash. But we're making it work. And I'm sorry, I've never stopped by your stream, but what do you play P99 as well, or do you play Quorum? It's a little bit hardcore. I'm still a Necro. Necros are not. Oh my gosh, it's this guy. This guy is the reason why we got trained earlier. What if I accidentally drop Splurt on the ground? I had a druid try to do that whenever he ninja'd my Circlet of Shadows mob. This guy's killing me. Go to the other side. Dude. Go to the other side. I don't even know what this Phantom's doing. He's like not even listening to me. You're playing on Quorum, loving Quorum. That's good. I'm gonna ask that guy if he can go to the other side. Like, I've been in this spot for a couple hours. If you're gonna be pulling stuff by me and getting me hit, you should just find somewhere a little bit safer. He said, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, he's being reasonable. That's good. You never know what to expect on these games. You could get somebody that's like, yeah, man, no problem, sorry. And then you got other people who are like, deal with it, scrub. I've thought about doing Quorum, but I'm just too committed to P99, and I really need to finish this guy. I'm on day, like, it's in the stream info. It's like day 210 or something. J Booze, I'm on green. I have characters on blue. I played on blue all the way back starting in 2009, but I've definitely spent more time on green than blue at this point. I have a druid on blue who's level 44 that I use exclusively for making YouTube footage. So if I need to go somewhere and get like footage of a certain mob or a certain area, I can just hop on that druid and start recording and be wherever I need to go. So I'm really grateful that I have that guy. I think I leveled him way back in like 2013, 2014. Green is mostly friendly. I agree. Like, I feel like the people that are still playing P99 are really friendly. It's definitely a different feel now than like way back in the day. You had a lot of people back in the day. They were friendly too, but there was a lot more like people were like more casual back then. It was a lot of fun when blue was super poppin'. I kind of miss those days. Every zone was just like freaking poppin'. Like, I would log in and you pretty much always had a group. Ah, he's getting too close. He played on red for a few years. I did play on red for a little bit when it first came out. I could not do it now. In fact, I was actually going to try to play on red when I started streaming again. But I logged in because I have a 29 Necro on red and I wanted to play Necro and I didn't want to start over. So I logged in and started streaming. Damn, this guy he interrupted my screaming terror. Anyway, the moment I turned my stream on, I had somebody stream sniping me like within minutes. And I was like, this is probably a bad idea. There is no friendly people on red, yeah. No, go fight him. Go. Yeah, Kevin doesn't like red. It was fun when I first started on it because there was, like I said, it was a lot more casual people because it had just come out. But I imagine now it's like only the sweatiest of sweaties. I was thinking about doing the TLP when it comes out this year, but I don't think we've gotten any sort of confirmation on the rules. Yeah, I don't see anything on Google. Yeah, that's when I played. It was like 200, 300 people. You got the experience bonus. It was pretty good. There wasn't a lot of PvP. Like most people were there to group and get the experience. But now it's down to like what, 20 or 30. I feel like every time I look at it, it's I rarely even look at it, but when I do, it's probably no more than 50. But if you think about it, an open PvP on a 25-year-old game on an emulated server is like a niche of a niche of a niche. So I imagine that the demand for that is just extremely low. I feel like the game is already brutal enough. The server had 2 raiding guilds fighting for spawns. Yeah, that was probably pretty unique. Let's see. So we got 2 golems here, so I can't split them with ST. Trying to think what's the best way to do this. We got track spawn time. We camped out 25 people at track. Yeah, I've never done any raiding. I've played EQ so much, and I've never done any raiding except for on the Agnar TLP server. Oh, you guys ninja'd their track. That's like vicious. Uh, I was gonna try to split those guys, but what I really need to do is get some mana and see if one of these respawns. There's a lot that can go wrong when you're trying to split with a charm pet. I guess I could lull my pet. So if it breaks, he might just go. Oh, of course he's gonna resist it. I'm not sure if this will work. Oh my gosh. Dude just kept resisting. I bet they were so mad. Was that okay? Well, that confirms that. I lulled him, and I'm just gonna let him go because I need to get mana, and he just keeps breaking. There we go. That's what I wanted him to do. Yeah, I bet that was like a post on Rants and Flames or the Red forums. I've heard those forums were not a good place. And then you corpse camped them too. Couldn't people do couldn't they call like loot and scoot or whatever? Wasn't that like a thing? I think I used to have to do that. Like you call LNS and then they're supposed to let you go. GMs gave oh my gosh. I called LNS, man. Okay, go ahead and petition it. See what happens. That's terrible. You're one of those people Kevin talks about. P99 has had some like there was a point where I was like, this place is got some interesting characters. Like I remember there was a guy, his name was Days, Dayse, and I guess he passed away. And there was a point where people were using his name as like a pejorative. And I thought that was like just really tasteless. And that really summed up P99 at that point in time. I think that was like 2012, 2013. But I feel like it's a lot better now. Where are all the spawns? All right, we're going to try to do this. All right, we got a lot. You know what? We can root him here. Pet should be coming. Then we need to feign. Oh, it failed. That's bad news bears. We might. He might have gotten memblered. I think we just got crazy lucky. So basically, Screaming Terror has a small chance to membler the mob so they don't even remember you after they ST. And that actually happened. I actually don't like that I'm sitting here. I need to move. We'll watch him from over here. Sort of. We'll try to watch him from over here. We can't see anything. Goodness, my pet's actually taking a lot of damage. I don't want this Phantom to die. I'm gonna bring him back. This is super risky. I feel like something bad is gonna happen. But I don't want this Phantom to die because I need him to kill all these spawns. He's been my like exclusive pet. Wait, why is the Phantom? Why is he regenning health? Was he regenning health or am I crazy? Oh yeah, it's just saying he's regenning health. As soon as I targeted him, he went down. Ah, shoot. Okay. Oh, crap. As soon as he dies, we're just gonna feign. There we go. That should reset the pet. Then we just need to make sure when we stand up that these guys don't remember us. We're gonna safety feign here. Alright, we should be good. I knew that was going to be dicey trying to split those guys with without like a lull. But this is good practice because eventually I'm going to go into Howling Stones. And I think that's going to be a lot more challenging. So it's good that I'm kind of learning all these tricks. There were some absolute degenerates on that server. Colgate being the... Was Colgate a character or a guild? Somebody could probably write a book about that server and all the crazy stuff that went on there. That was a person. I remember I got ganked by a guy named Helmet. He was like a level 6 gnome warrior with awesome gear and this like spiked helmet. I made like a halfling druid first time ever on red. I was out in the misty thicket, you know, throwing little burst of flames or whatever on things. And about 10 minutes in, this level 6 gnome just showed up and killed me in like 2 hits, and then corpse camped me. And at that point I was like, I don't feel very welcome here. My main on red was an XR Necro with badass gear. That's pretty... I bet Necro PvP is fun. I had a Necro on there. He was like 29, but I never PvP'd with him. I just made a lot of money doing selling cured silk armor. That was like my thing. I would go farm the spiders and Field of Bone and then make cured silk and sell it to all the monks. Yeah, I don't think I could ever go back. I don't it doesn't appeal to me to go back to red. Somebody was trying to talk me into it when I started playing P99 again. I was on the Discord and I was asking questions and they were like, dude, you gotta go to red, it's the best. I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I was gonna release this pet, but I remembered I have loot right here. Loot. Loot him. Why won't he loot him? There we go. Of course there's nothing. One of these days we're gonna get splurt. We'll be level 60, but we'll get splurt. And I'll be emailing neutral rockets at the old folks home and being like, hey man, I got splurt finally, you want to watch me do Howling Stones? It's dead. I think a team's PvP server would be some number. I think they have, don't they have one? It's not a P99 server, but it's like a Talonzek, Valenczek. Unless that server is shut down. I think it used to be called like TZVZ or whatever. I don't know. I don't keep up with them. Years ago, yeah. Yeah, I first got on EQ Emu because I paid $100. It was like $120 for back when EQ didn't just make you pay for like the latest expansion and they actually made you buy all of them. I was like, I got my tax return for the year. This was like 2009. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to play EQ again. I haven't played EQ in years. I want to try it out. And so I dropped $120 on basically a digital expansion pack pass that had every expansion up to like the latest one. And I got on there and I was like, what is this? I don't even know. Like it was so foreign to me after quitting during Planes of Power. So I tried for like a week to get back into it and I was like, this is freaking just not what I want. And so I literally was like pissed because I dropped all this money on it. Shit. I dropped all this money on it. And so I just went to Google and I typed like Everquest sucks into Google because I was mad. And somebody on there was like, yeah, play on EQ Emu, it's free. So I downloaded EQ Emu and I made a character on the PEQ server. And I didn't really like that, but I was looking through like the list of servers on the EQ Emu launcher or whatever, or login screen. And I saw this thing, it said Project 1999, and then it said beta. And there was 0 people logged in. But I was like, well, what's the harm in just checking it out? And I got on there and I rolled a human in Kinos. And I was walking around and I was like, oh shit, this is like OG EQ. And I did a little bit of Googling and I found the website for it. And they were like, yeah, we're releasing in December or whatever, November, whenever it was. And we're going to emulate Everquest back to 1999. And I was like, dude, this is freaking awesome. So I followed the project, and as soon as it came out, I started playing on it. And I don't think I've played a little bit of retail, but not like this. When I go to retail, it's like a tour. I'm like a tourist. Like I have a character on the test server. I think he's level 70. And I just go wander around and like I'll go to all the old zones that I couldn't do on P99 because I wasn't powerful enough. Or I'll go to some of the new zones and just check it out, but I'm not really playing it as much as just wandering around looking at it. It's too much. There's way too much in retail for me to understand. I feel like it is probably one of the most new player unfriendly MMOs there is. Like the interface is so bloated. Like, you know that little EQ button? If you play retail now, there's like a little button. It's kind of like the start button for Windows. And you click it and it's got like 200 things that you can open Windows for. There's stuff that hasn't been updated in there for like 20 years. Like old mechanics that no longer probably function properly. They're just still in the game somehow. It's almost like bizarre to look at. I'm gonna go take my contacts out because my eyes are getting super dry, and I'll be right back. Wow. Noisy ass chair. Ancient office chair. Alright, I'm back. I chickened out and I feigned while I was meditating because I didn't want to come back to a naked XR sitting in Cabalus. I think it's kind of cool that we have choices now on EQ Emu, like for classic servers at least, with Quorum. And I was telling everybody earlier, like P99 is such a blessing. Not every private server community gets a private server as polished as P99. I remember playing on one, it was a WoW private server for vanilla. It was like a vanilla WoW private server, pre-Nostalrius, like way old. It was called Emerald Dream. And you know how like one of the staple things that human characters do is they go in caves full of kobolds? And the kobolds run when they hit low health. On this server, when the kobolds would start to run in a cave, they would like stair step up and clip through the ceiling of the cave and then aggro everything outside of the cave. So when you were fighting them, you had to like hamstring them or slow them in some ways so that they couldn't do that. And it was like every single time was like hair raising. Like I was playing with somebody, we were like, freaking stop him, stop him. EQ is in a good spot though because it's so simple that I can't imagine it was incredibly difficult to emulate this compared to like a newer MMO. Like I used to play WildStar. WildStar was one of the games that I really loved, and it shut down in 2018. And I don't think we'll ever get a private server for WildStar because it's too new and there's too many mechanics that are like probably really difficult to emulate. So these like golden era MMOs are really where it's at when it comes to private servers. I wish we didn't need private servers because developers just wouldn't pull the plug on servers that probably cost them $20 a month to operate. But I say that from a like an uneducated perspective because I don't know if there's like a legal concern if they were to say like, hey, we're not gonna, there will be no customer service for this, there will be no support. If maybe that could result in like something like a lawsuit or something if people were harassed. I don't know. I know that like the last year of WildStar, there was zero moderation in the chat whatsoever. You could just say whatever you wanted to on the global channels, and nothing was going to happen to you because there was just no support going on for the game whatsoever. But I'm still mad that they pulled the plug on it because I a lot of people hated WildStar. They thought it was a terrible game, but I actually really enjoyed it. And I haven't found a game that scratches quite the same itch. A lot of people went to ESO because it had that same style of like action combat. But I played ESO probably like 600 hours. I think I've got about 600 or 700 hours in it. And I think I'm just done with it forever. Like, it just doesn't, there was just something off about it for me. Wasn't that the game that was essentially dead on arrival because of delays and an insane amount of bugs? Yeah, it had like a really rough development cycle. And then I feel like if they had released it a few years later, it would have lived because they were trying to nail the hardcore MMO audience, but they were just doing it a little bit too early. Or at least that's what I halfway think that, because the reason why I'm saying that is WoW Classic did really well, right? But people knew WoW. It was an established IP, and people had fond memories of playing during Classic or Vanilla. But one of the things that we learned while playing WoW Classic was that it wasn't actually that hardcore. Like, there wasn't a whole lot to it that made it hardcore. It just seemed hardcore back in 2004. The raids were like laughably easy to the point where the bosses were pretty much loot pinatas. And I knew it was going to happen because I played on private servers prior to WoW Classic's launch. And those dudes on the private servers were doing all the same stuff. Like, they had summoners at Dire Maul, Songflower, Zul'Gurub, Stormwind, Orgrimmar, so they could just like pop you around to all the world buffs, and then we would just smash through all the content. And when WoW Classic came out, I offered to do that for my guild. I was like, hey, I'll level up summoners and I'll park them at all these spots, and then you guys can just get all your world buffs. And I remember my guild master was like, nah, man, nobody's gonna do that. Who wants to do that? And by like what, phase 3 or phase 4 of WoW Classic, everybody was doing the world buff thing. ESO was a lot of fun for a while, but my lord, the targeting system in combat in that game was so bad and clunky. Yeah, I think that's it. I think it's the every time you use the skill, you had to hit an attack to like cancel the animation of the skill, to then use another skill, to then use an attack to cancel. And it was like freaking carpal tunnel. Like, it was like carpal tunnel inducing. I tried to play a healer and I was like, what am I doing? Healing was so easy on there because every heal was like an AoE heal. People would queue as a healer in the dungeons and then not even actually heal. I remember that because I died and I was like, who's the healer? And I look over and he's like just blasting away. I was like, what the hell is this? You're not even healing. It's like, you gotta heal yourself, man. I was like, what? It's just a very disjointed MMO, I think. Like, I remember in order to progress my character, I had to run around a zone and unlock chests just to find like a set of rings. And I did that for like 6 hours till I found the rings, and when I found them, I was like, I got the rings, I was just done with it. Yeah, the only time I think I like enjoyed it was I had a certain... I got lucky and like my main character suddenly became like the flavor of the month overpowered character. And he was like really, really good for a whole patch or something. And then they nerfed him and I was like, this is dumb. I'm not leveling like a new guy just to be as powerful as I was a week ago. Like he was like stupidly overpowered. It was weird how every class has a magic and a physical base. Yeah, and like every class could be a healer or a tank. And then tanking, I was a tank on there for a while too, and tanking was really weird because you weren't actually like... Tank was more like a debuffer. Like it was really hard to taunt things and like have aggro on everything you were fighting because there was... a lot of the pulls were like 6 or 7 mobs. So I didn't really feel like a tank. It was kind of defeated the whole like fantasy of being the big bad warrior protector guy. Ever play Runes of Magic? No, I actually never heard of that. There were a bunch of raging psychopaths on ESO. I don't remember that, but I didn't interact with a lot of people. Yeah, I never did like the high tier dungeons or anything like that. Ever play Anarchy Online? I did. I played Anarchy Online when it... Anarchy Online has a really cool fact about it. It was, to my knowledge, the first MMO that went free to play. And when it did, I actually got it and played it. Huh, Woo's Quivering Staff. Interesting. And I actually really enjoyed it. Anarchy Online was one of those MMOs that was not afraid to be different. And it was not afraid to be technical. And I remember it's still alive-ish. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. There were some things about it that were kind of weird, but I do remember some guy was like, hey man, here's what you need to do. I'm going to cast a bunch of like buffs on you. And I'm going to give you this stuff, these like implants, cybernetic implants. It was like a sci-fi MMO. And when I cast these buffs on you, it's going to give you the stats that you need to put the implants on. But you have to put them on while you have the buffs on. It was kind of like in Skyrim, whenever you like make a potion to get better alchemy, to then make a potion to get better alchemy, to make a potion to get better enchanting. Like you had to do that whole like stepper deal. It was just like that. And after that, my dude was like stupidly powerful, and it was a lot. It was like really fun. Didn't they try a? Didn't Anarchy Online try a like a classic server too? I don't know. That's a really niche game too. It's good to see that it's still online though. Oh man, we got 2 guys over here. I got to try to split them again. That stinks. Okay, here we go. Okay, I need you to reset. You don't want to reset. There we go. Oh no, we have a respawn over there. I think we can grab this guy though. Oh, we got the fog golem. Or not the fog golem, the plague bone. Uh-oh. Root just wore off. This is getting kind of scary. Oh, there he just got the plague bone. Wait a minute, why is he not aggroing my pet? Okay. Luckily we got away. I'm gonna try to get him back over here. He's probably gonna aggro that one actually. That was a bad idea, yeah. That was a really bad idea. Okay. We're deep in it now. I'm gonna lose my pet, so let's see if we can. We're gonna redot you. We're gonna lull the pet. Oh, he resisted. He doesn't want to be lulled. We'll break that charm. This guy, oh, he's regenning now. I had to stand up because he's regenerating health. Okay, he's dead. I might be able to grab him without getting hit. Oh, his health's still not back. Because this guy's still aggroed to me. We just need that root to hold for a little bit longer. Alright, now we'll grab the phantom. Hopefully that skeleton isn't over there still. And then this pet should be able to kill the apparition without any help. Any spells today? No, no spells. Not even splurt. Nope, not even a crappy splurt drop today. I wish I was so unlucky that I could at least get a splurt. Oh no, we got another golem. Let's see. We'll feign them off. The apparition is going to start regenerating. I think that's a wash. We'll just... I was gonna like try to do something sneaky to kill this apparition, but that's not gonna happen. We will just regen out of feign death until the root wears off, and as soon as root wears off, I'll feign. Sometimes things go sideways. At least I don't have the mega train like I had earlier. The good thing about this camp is it's not super time dependent. Like I've been in camps where if you don't adhere to a very tight schedule of killing all the mobs and keeping them broken, you can very easily get forced out of the camp. And I've also had camps where if you start falling behind in mana, like all it takes is a charm break at the wrong time or too many resists in a single fight, and you're going to lose the camp and start over from square one. And this is definitely not that demanding. Like I wish I still had footage of me doing the Goblin Preacher camp on my enchanter at like level 20 up in permafrost, because that was like, I would do that camp for like 4 to 6 hours, and when I would finish, I would be physically like tired. Because it took so much work just to get it broken, and then once it was broken, I didn't want to leave because the experience was just so good. There we go, that worked out pretty good. Yeah, at one point, like going back to Anarchy Online, at one point I had played like every MMO that had come out, at least the major ones like EQ, Ultima Online, DAOC. But then after a while, like MMOs became the flavor of the month, and there was just too many to keep up with, and most of them weren't any good anyway. Like I feel like every one of those MMOs, Asheron's Call was another one. Every one of those had something about it that was redeemable. And then once WoW came out and the whole MMO hype train happened, there was just so many trash MMOs that it wasn't even worth looking into half of them. And then once the age of free to play and microtransactions happened, I was definitely not interested in a majority of MMOs. I don't even invest my time in a MMO that has a like excessive monetization. I guess ESO was probably the closest thing, but I never bought any of that crap. Like I probably have the crowns or whatever. I think I have like 10,000 of them because you get them with the subscription, and I never spent a single one. But I feel like now these games are almost like glorified gambling. Because a lot of the microtransactions are random chance. And I think it's kind of gross. Yeah, loot boxes and that kind of stuff like is just not, that's just not my thing. I'd rather just pay a sub and know that I'm paying a sub. And if I want to get something in the game, I have to go get it. And even if I do the math and I'm like, I will never have this thing, whatever the thing is that I want, if it's that sword that comes from the very hardest boss or whatever, and I just don't have the time to devote to it, I just accept the fact that I don't have the time and I'll never have the item. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Like a lot of people think like, oh, that's a bad thing that like the casual players can't access all of the content or whatever. But I'm kind of like, why? You know, why not have content that is just that distinguishes who spends the most time working from home and on one monitor and clicking things on another? Or you can pay a sub for a while and still get slammed with microtransactions. Yeah, that used to be the thing. Like if you paid the sub, if this dude goes and fights this thing, I was gonna say if he starts fighting this phantom, I am going to yoink that phantom. Yeah, it used to be like if you paid a sub, there was no microtransactions. It's kind of like Hulu. You guys remember when Hulu came out? And if you paid the sub, you had no ads. And if you didn't pay the sub, then you had to watch ads. If you bought a game, that was it. Exactly, Kalari. Like you bought the game and it was a game. It was a complete game. But then whenever Hulu changed it, so then you had to pay a sub to just get on Hulu and even watch things, and then you still had ads. I was like, what? And they're so shameless that they make all the store items and mounts look way cooler. Exactly. It's trash. But the thing is the reason why they do it is because people pay for it. I mean, I'm guilty too. I bought the stupid celestial steed from WoW. I remember when it came out and I was like, okay, I'll buy this because it's going to charity. That was the whole shtick. Oh, it's going to charity. Buy the celestial steed and we donate money to charity. And so I bought it, and then look at where we're at now. I bought a few things, but usually with WoW tokens. I never got rich enough to have a WoW token. I have items on. It is my fault. I am the face of why games suck. I have some items on a server on WoW that are not obtainable anymore that supposedly I could sell for a lot. But I tried selling them. I even got on like the Discord for the collectors and all that, and no one ever bought them. So I'm not sure. But if I was able to sell them for the price that the forums said they were worth, it would have been like I would have had WoW tokens for days. Like it would have been a free WoW sub for life. But I'm kind of led to believe that it's not actually worth as much as what they're saying. I have like all the old cultist armor that you could get in Silithus. I have a hatchet that was like phased out. They're all transmog stuff. They were phased out when Cataclysm came out. I've got like ninja stars that are phased out when Wrath, I think, yeah, when Cataclysm came out. But I tried selling them for weeks and nobody ever bought them. So things are only worth what people pay for them. I have a bunch of holiday items in FF14, but I never get on there. Yeah, you went hard on FF14 for a while. Somebody, like, I can't remember. I think somebody did a recruit a friend for you or something and then quit the game like the week later. Something like that. Ugh. Friggin' nose is running. So odd ditching me in a game like that. I don't know who would do that. And the funny thing was, you got way more into that game than I ever did. Kalari ran like a bar in that game. I didn't even know you could do that. A monster? Dang, I'm a monster? The thing that I couldn't... The reason why I couldn't get into FF14 is there was this very noticeable delay. It wasn't smooth like WoW. In WoW, when you push your ability, the ability pops out right away. It had that snappiness, and FF14 did not have that snappiness because the whole game was built on an engine that was basically a redesigned Final Fantasy XI engine. And Final Fantasy XI was super clunky. I logged into my old WoW characters a few months ago, and one of them was still a Night Elf Mohawk. Maybe Mr. T hacked the game. Too much rage when I had inputs in time, but they didn't register. Exactly. The game was like super... It just felt laggy the whole time. It really nailed so many good things, too. Like, the atmosphere in FF14 was great. The story was amazing. I've never invested in an MMO story like I have on FF14. And actually understood it and knew what was going on. There was a promotional item called Mohawk Grenade and it still had the buff? No way. Oh, FF14 had really good horizontal progression too, where you could it wasn't just about getting the best gear. Kind of like Final Fantasy XI had good horizontal progression. I actually got really into the original Guild Wars around Christmas time. I logged into Guild Wars 1 the week of Christmas just to do like some Christmas stuff because it's like maximum nostalgia for me because that's when I first started playing. Like I think my ex, one of my exes, had bought it for us like at Christmas time. I ended up going on like a month long Guild Wars 1 bender and thoroughly enjoyed it. But I've had trouble logging in since probably January. I haven't gotten the urge to. It's very different now. The population is like really low. It doesn't have the same feel. You're obsessed with the original Guild Wars. It's a good game. I feel like it was very unique because the whole team building, like you have these skills, I have these skills, because you could only take 8 skills. So you had to really think about what skills you wanted to bring. It made it like super cool, and you could almost make your own class. Like if you wanted to be a paladin, you could be a warrior and a monk at the same time and like use half warrior skills, half monk skills. It's all about meta builds now. People have like completely I guess engineered builds that will just wreck all the content. But it actually makes it fun because now you can go do everything by yourself. Missions that were like pretty much required to have other players, you can just bring all your heroes and set them up and they just wreck everything. I knew you were hiding back there, Plaguebone. You didn't fool me. Well, we made pretty good progress tonight. Still no splurt. 10% towards the level, though, is pretty good. Technically, splurt is not required for me to get to level 60. Mesmer Necro is a ton of fun. Yeah, that's what the meta is like, all Mesmers. You get like your main character is whatever you want it to be, but you can be a Mesmer too if you want even more damage. And then you bring 3 Mesmer heroes, and then you have like a ritualist as a healer, and then 2 Necros. One of them's a healer and one of them's like a summoner. And that party will destroy the whole game without any. The only content you can't do solo with ease is there was like an optional mission or quest line that came out right before Guild Wars 2 that they made extremely hard. It's called Winds of Change, and it still struggles in Winds of Change, which ironically is how you unlock the final Mesmer for your build or whatever. They locked like the last Mesmer behind the hardest quest that you can't use Mesmers to get. And it's super hard. There was one mission I spent like an hour and a half doing. And I like barely finished it. Why are you still looking at me? Oh, that's weird. I didn't feign. Yeah, I was in like the death spiral because whenever you die on Guild Wars 1, you lose like 15% of your health, and it can go all the way up to 60%. And I was at like -30 or -40, and my dudes were just like dying left and right, and I had to be super careful about how I would pull. But I was like an hour into the mission, and I didn't want to start over. I stuck it out and finished it. And then when I looked it up, I still had 4 or 5 more missions to go that were super hard like that, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do this. I am the highest level here. I'm like the guy who did the 5th year of high school. Like everybody else is in their 40s, and I'm over here at 53 still farming in this place. I can buy all these guys cigarettes. The super senior, yeah. Did you guys have those? The dude who had to come back and they were like 20 years old, and they would buy like dudes would buy you cigarettes and shit. They're like, hey man, can you go buy some smokes? Yeah, man, no problem. Actually, got to go to work here soon. Got to go pick up my kid. Kalari, you never had super seniors? That's crazy. I would figure where you're from, like the super senior. No offense, but like, you know, just going off pure statistics here, the super senior would be like a very real thing. If you get some SIGs, toss me some money first. All of my money went to child support. If they dropped out, they didn't come back. Yeah, we had those too. We had they just disappeared, and you're like, where's so and so? Like, they dropped out. And then we had the like the Job Corps school or whatever, like the troubled school. So like whenever we all got to high school from middle school, there was a handful that just went to that. They probably learned more there than they would have in high school. I'm kind of jealous. Like I think some of them got like into plumbing and uh I don't know, other trades that you don't get in high school. And those trades are freaking super important. Like I tell my kids, you don't have to go to college. If you want to do a trade, do a trade. Like a lot of our jobs are going to be replaced by robots here soon, so if they aren't already, but you can't, we're not going to have robot plumbers for a long time. Yeah, my parents pushed me into college too. I just went like 8 years after high school when I was already in the military. And actually, the military pushed me into college. They were like, you got to go to college if you want to get the best performance report. And at the time, I was super pissed about it. I was like, this is dumb. I didn't join the military to go to college. But in retrospect, that was like the best thing they could have done. I did try to go to college right after high school, but I was such a like screw up. Like I skipped all my classes. I go back and finish. Are you saying you should go back and finish? I'm like I'm done unless I want to be a doctor. Unless I want to be Doctor Mmocracy. I went to university and then failed for 2 years for not putting. That was me. I didn't put in any effort. I would go to the campus and then not go to my classes. Like I don't know what I was thinking. I had to drive like 20 miles to get to the campus. Yeah, I would go and like try to hang out with girls and stuff. Like I had like a little girlfriend at the time. I don't know. She wasn't like really my girlfriend. I think she was a handful of people's girlfriends. Is kind of the vibe that I got, but we'd still hang out. She was young, you know. She's just having a good time. I don't blame her. We were never like we never sat down and were like we are girlfriend and boyfriend. We just kind of hung out. And the bear garden? You had a bear garden? That sounds terrifying. Terrifying how much I drank. Man, I gotta split these guys again. This game is killing me. This is where it always goes wrong. Get him, Phantom. I'm gonna throw a bunch of dots on this guy. Yeah, I wasn't a good student at all. Yeah, depressed is a good one. Is a good. I was mildly depressed. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I like worked odd jobs and just kind of hung out and drank. and tried to take music classes, but quit going after like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, everybody grows up at a different pace. Like when I went back to school online, I was like all about it. I don't think I maybe missed like probably 2 assignments the whole time, and they weren't like actual physical, like you have to type up a paper or do a quiz. It was you had to do these like weekly discussions or whatever, and there was a couple times where I just got busy and forgot to post them, or thought I posted them, because I was doing multiple classes at a time, and I would do the discussions in one class but not the other and forget that I had to do both or whatever. But it wasn't like I was just sloughing it off. It was just mismanaged my time or made a mistake. Like I was all about it. And then my last year of doing my masters, I was like really all about it, because my first couple of years of my bachelor's, I was just like, oh, this is so easy. Like I can just type whatever I want and they give me an A. I didn't spend nearly as much time on my assignments as I should have. And then by the like last 2 or 3 classes of my masters, I was like, I'm going to read this study and I'm going to read this study and I'm going to rebut this thing in this study and I'm going to, pull data from here and show why this is wrong. And I was like way invested in it, like probably more than the average person would be. I skipped some final year exams to go watch a movie. Damn. But yeah, there was definitely a point when I was doing my bachelor's where I was just like, yeah, whatever, I can get on here and just kind of type some stuff and then find a source that somewhat supports it and submit it, and they're not going to read it anyway. The bachelor's really just felt like kind of like high school. Do you remember being shocked about the lack of reading comprehension? Yeah, I'm right there with you. We had all the way up through the end of my master's, there was people who were like struggling just to type a complete sentence, and I was like, you're about to have a master's degree and you can't like formulate a sentence, like subject verb. I had an easier time with my bachelor's degree than I did in high school. That's probably because I was burnt out 99% of the time in high school. Yeah. You slept through your entire chemistry final exam. Oh, Kalari was a paper writer. I probably could have done that. He got a 12%. Yeah, I definitely had a few tests like that in high school. It's just really hard to commit to it because I was just there because I had to be there. I literally had the I grew up with this guy. Like I knew him from the time we were like 6 years old. We were in freaking every class together from the time I was like 6 on. And I knew him, his parents, forever. And his mom was like the office lady for the school. And my senior year, I just stopped going to school. I was just like, whatever. I don't care about this. And I was sleeping, and it was like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. And I got a call on my cell phone. She like got a hold of her son, who then gave her my cell phone number. And she called my like, Nokia phone that had the little antenna that you had to pull out, that phone, for those of you that are old enough to remember that. And she was like, mmocracy, if you don't come to school right now. She's like, I can like fudge some numbers for you because you already missed a class, but if you miss the next class from now until graduation, you're not going to graduate. And I was like, what? I didn't know they could do that. I was like, what? They could do that? And she's like, yeah, you need to get to school now and not miss any more school until the end of the year, which luckily was only like 2 weeks. She's like, or you're not going to graduate. I was like, oh, okay. So I had to go to school for the last 2 weeks. I was in every class, Johnny on the spot, because I definitely didn't want to be a super senior. It was because I woke up in a panic with like 3 minutes left and just started guessing. Yeah, she was super cool. I was super lucky that she was willing to do that for me because nobody told me that. No one was like, hey, like sit this kid down and be like, hey, dude, by the way, you're about to not graduate. Like there was zero warning. And I think at that point, my parents were divorced. And my mom was like, she wasn't like bad, but she was doing her own thing. She was like figuring out her new life. And then my dad was in China. Like my dad literally worked in China when I was a senior in high school. So I was just staying at my house by myself. So they probably tried to call my dad, but he is in China. And I would just like do whatever the hell I wanted to because I was 18 years old and didn't understand consequences. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna kill one more mob and then it's 9:30. I do have to get off. But wow, 21 viewers. Thank you guys. The raid that stuck around. I appreciate you all. You're amazing. If you enjoy what I do here, definitely consider dropping a follow. Effins, thank you for that. We are Tuesdays and Thursdays are EQ. Normally, I know it's a Wednesday today. Wednesday is going to be my Valheim day. I only came to heckle you, but I'm a little tired, so not much heart for. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang in there. I know you're dealing with it right now. Let's see. Did I get an extra? Oh no. Little ninja respawn here. Yeah, this worked out pretty good. I got 10%, actually 11% towards level 54. And hopefully we get splurt here soon. It's going to be a challenge killing those raptors, splurt or not. I think it's going to be rough. I'll go all the way to 54 here in City of Mist, and if I don't have splurt by 54, I'll probably go back to the raptors and just give it a shot, because I haven't tried the raptors since I was probably 50 or 51. So who knows? Maybe it's easier now. I just know that at the point where I tried it, the raptors felt like they were just a death trap, and it was not going to happen. Gonna be playing Valheim without you. Probably don't even know how to make a rolling death trap. I've got a base with spikes. I just figured out how to make the teleporter. So just bear with me. But I have a dedicated server, so if you join the Discord, you can get on the dedicated server. Just don't take all my ore. I don't know if this Phantom is going to be able to pull this off. And I don't have a lot of mana either. Maybe we just kill the Phantom? He's like almost dead. There we go. We just need root to hold. Okay. Get him, get him, get him, get him. Oh. Let's see if this kills him. There we go. There's Splurt. We got it. Just kidding. Made you look. Neutral looked up. Neutral woke up from his keyboard nap. All right, folks. I really want to thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out. It was great to have everybody in here. All the regulars, thanks for sticking around and chatting. You guys have 70,000 Twitch streams to choose from at any given moment, and tonight you chose mine. It's very humbling, and I'm very grateful for your stop talking, EQ. I'm trying to talk. Very grateful for your guys' viewership. So, like I said, if you enjoy what I'm doing, check me out here. Check me out on YouTube. And I'll be back tomorrow. Most likely tomorrow. I got to see because I got to drive to Vegas Friday. So if I don't have time, then I'll let everybody know in the Discord. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is the